Do you wonder why others succeed seemingly effortless with playing the guitar and you seem to be only struggling? Do you want to make a good start with learning how to play the guitar? Do you not want to unlearn a lot of small things later on, which will take a huge amount of effort? Are you motivated but don't know where to start? Then you've come to the right place, my friend, because I'm going to give you 7 tips so you can have a smooth as possible start on learning how to play the guitar. Tip number 1. Make sure your wrist is always straight and relaxed. Also, make sure there's some space between your elbow and your upper body. So when you press a string, let's say the E string on the 3rd fret, make sure it's always on the right side of the fretting space. And press down as hard as you can. Tip number 2. Learn these chords as fast as possible. These chords all sound good together. They are in the same key. It's like a family. They fit together. Also, it's very useful to buy a capo right away. This is a capo. It is used to place on, let's say, the 3rd fret. This way your E minor chord sounds a bit higher. Well, if you look up chords for a certain song you wish to play, it will often say capo 3, for instance, or capo 5. All you gotta do is set the capo on that number on the fretting board, and then you can play a lot of songs. Do so. Good luck. Tip number 3. Learn this strumming pattern as fast as you can. I'm using the E minor chord again, and the strumming pattern goes like this. This is by far the most used strumming pattern in modern day pop songs. So if you get this down, you can play very many songs. So I'll play it again, but slower. Down, up, without strumming. Down, up. Down, without hitting the strings. And up, down, up. So again. Down, up. Down, up. Miss. Up, down, up. Down, miss. Down, up, miss. Up, down, up. Tip number 4. Learn this simple scale. It's the most used one on the guitar, and I'll play E minor pentatonic for you. And we start on the top E string. Play the 3rd. Play the 2nd fret. Play the 2nd fret again. Play the 2nd fret again. Play the 3rd. And play the 3rd again. So once more. Open string 3, open string 2, open string 2, open string 2, open string 3, open string 3. So I'm using a plectrum, and every time I play the next note, then I'll switch with stroking down and up. Well, that can be quite tricky in the beginning, so don't bother learning that right away, but it can be very useful. So with this scale you can play on backing tracks. So go to YouTube, type in backing track, and then followed by E minor, capital E and a small letter M. what you'll get is a bunch of backing tracks you can use to improvise on this scale. If you're tired using only that scale, you can move it up using your capo. So for instance, if I put him on number 3, number 3 on the E string is called the G. Now you have to type in backing track G minor. So capital G, small letter N. And then you'll play the same one. It'll sound different, the backing tracks will be different. It's a lot of fun. Of course, you can also play this without the capo. And then for every open string, you have to play the fret. So for instance, G minor pentatonic is 3-6, 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 3-6, and 3-6 again. So try this and well, you'll get handy very fast. When you start playing the guitar, right away start with creating your own songs and melodies. This is the most important tip I can give you. It gave me a lot during my learning process, and it's great fun to make up your own songs. So I'll show you a little example of what I mean. So I'm going to create a tune I never played before, and I'm going to use the minor pentatonic scale and the chords I just taught you. So I'm starting off with a E minor chord. I'll just strum it once and I'll continue with a simple melody in the E minor pentatonic. I like that. Well, now I'll continue with the C chord, strumming it once again. And why not? I'll play the same melody again. Now I feel like playing the strumming pattern with the D chord. And I'll finish the tune with G major. Why not? So, now I've created this. Gotta love it! A lot of guitar songs don't use open chords, but use power chords instead. So I'll show you the basic form of the power chord. It's a very useful one to learn right away. So I'm placing my index finger on the 3rd fret of the E string and my ring finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and my pink right behind it also on the 5th string on the D string. So now I have pressed down 3 different strings and I play only these 3. So this is the power chord. This is the G power chord, and you'll write it. You can write it down as G5. Well, with just this form, you can play it everywhere on the neck. So this way you can play a lot of rock songs. Yeah! So once you get the open chords, the minor pentatonic scale and the power chords down, it's time for a little bit of theory. It's very handy if you know where the notes are on the guitar, and I advise you to start with the E and A string. So the E and A string. I'll show you the notes. So the open string is an E followed by an F on the 1st fret. This is F sharp or G flat. This one has two names. The third fret is called the G. Then we have G sharp or A flat, has two names again. Here's an A. So we follow the letters from the alphabet from A to G, and only between B and C and E and F there is nothing. Between all the other letters there's a note with two names. So between F and G we have F sharp and G flat. So we were at fret number 5. This was the A note. So 2 frets ahead there's B. In between is A sharp or B flat. So B, between B and C there's nothing. So this is the C. And on our 9th fret we have C sharp or D flat. The 10th fret is D. 11th fret is D sharp or E flat. And the 12th fret, often there is a double dot. Well, it's a diamond on my guitar, but there's the E again. It's an octave higher. So from E to E. So the same applies on the A string. We just begin on the A and we end on the A. I'll show you them anyway. So A sharp or B flat, B, and on the 3rd fret we have C. The 4th fret we have C sharp or D flat. The 5th fret is D. The 6th fret is D sharp or E flat. The 7th fret is E. Between E and F there's nothing, so the 8th fret is F. The 9th fret is F sharp or G flat. The 10th fret is G. The 11th fret is G sharp or A flat. And the 12th fret, an octave higher, is A again. So if you memorize all these, it might come in handy if you're playing songs with power chords, for instance. Well, then you might come across something like F5, A5, C5, G5. Well, if you know where the F, the A, the C, and the G are, all you gotta do is add the power chord form. F5, A5, C5, G5. Add the strumming pattern we discussed earlier and you have this.